Hi, I'm Jeremy Tank. If you are here, I have to assume that it's because you're interested in the Think Tank brand workshop on September 12th. So, thanks. There's a couple of things you need to know about the workshop and what we're doing in the workshop and how we're doing it in the workshop um, to determine if you're right to be on this page and to actually be interested in this workshop. So, here's what I gotta say. First of all, if your business, I assume you're a business owner, okay? This is for you if you're a business owner. If you're not a business owner, um, it's really not going to do you any good, okay? And as a, you could be have a small business. Honestly, if you make about $100,000 to anywhere like $1 to $2 million in revenue, gross revenue for your business annually, this is probably going to benefit you. If you make over that in your business, this will still benefit you, but there's a lot more detail that we should really talk about that goes into your business that would make the sort of exercises we would do more effective for you. If you make less than $100,000 in your business gross annually, um, this is not for you. And the reason is because you need to focus on sales and marketing and your systems to be able to increase the amount that you're asking or increase the amount of leads that you're bringing in to make that sum of money. And here's why. When you implement brand and marketing and all of the stuff that I am an expert in, you can expect an increase of at minimum 10% of your annual gross. So if you're making less than $100,000, then it's really not worth your while to invest in that sort of thing. It's better to invest in what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you're talking about it, so that everything you do can actually be more effective. When you're making from about $100,000 to $1 to $2 million gross revenue again, then when you increase 10%, if we look at the very bare minimum of that, $100,000, that would be a $10,000 increase, right? So generally what I do is I help people at that very bare minimum, and I say, look, if we can invest $1,000 in this process and you get, just over $10,000 out of it, is that worth your while? So let me go give you a little bit of background. See, I've been doing design and branding and marketing for 23 years. I have worked in the advertising world where I handled car rental agencies. I handled a lot of different hotels like Radisson, Sierra Suites, Holiday Inns, and I handled a hospice organization. I handled a couple of doctors, an aesthetic dentist, and we did this sort of work for them, figuring out what they're trying to bring to the world and really starting to bring it forward. After the advertising, I worked in the pharmaceutical world, and then I worked in the software world. So I've kind of got a broad expanse of using these same tools in different applications. After the tech world, I actually went back to school and I earned a master's degree, and I sort of learned a different strategic process that is super effective to bring out branding and show it through marketing to the world in a way that the research shows increases gross revenue between 50 and 80% when it's like grabbed and held onto and actually implemented. So those are the sort of people that I want to work with, is people who understand that this stuff is really effective when you grab it and own it and implement it moving forward. And I just honestly don't feel that if you're making less than $100,000 a year in your business gross, that you have that kind of implementation, because there's so much more that needs to be done to the foundation of the business. But if you make that much, and you can see that investing $1,000 will get you $10,000 in when you implement and you change the strategy at minimum, and I'm saying 10%. What I see in these bigger businesses is 50 to 80% when they actually grab on and take this shift with a brand message and positioning that is much more aligned emotionally with the people they're working with. So that's my strengths, and I've been doing it for 23 years. And as you can tell, I'm kind of passionate about it because I love the idea of branding, and I love the idea of standing out to your audience, and I love the idea of helping you stand out as a business owner in what you're doing. So, that's what this workshop is. And the things that we're going to accomplish, three things in this workshop. We are going to determine tactics that should be used um, to accomplish the strategy of growth for your business. So if you're targeting 10% growth, you're going to get 10% growth. If you target 50% growth, you're going to probably get 50% growth. Whatever you target is what we're going to help you build out. And that is through the tactics that we're going to recommend and through the other pieces. The next thing that we're going to actually figure out is a little bit more about your specific target audience. And the reason is that a lot of people have really generic target audiences. We help businesses, we help consumers, we help older citizens. When we start to think a little bit more tightly about who those people are and what they need and how you're helping them accomplish goals in their lives, or minimize pain points, then everything you communicate is more precise. And when you communicate more precise, then the impact you have with that audience is much better. So you can use those tactics and speak directly to that audience. And the last piece of it is the brand positioning. And the brand positioning is very strategic because it's taking attributes and values that you value and you want to share with that audience, and it puts it through the lens of something that they would appreciate. So you end up speaking the right thing to the right audience and using the right kind of tactics to make that shift. And that's why I say if a 10% shift in gross revenue is a minimum, because if you're targeting a 50% gross and you're saying the right message to the right people through the right mediums, all that's left is at the right time. And the right time is something you cannot control. So all that you can do is put the tactics out there in a way that people will grasp onto it. And I know that there's a lot of different tactics we're going to discuss and come upon in this workshop that will do exactly that, right? Social media allows us to do a lot of exactly that, just the right time. But if you don't have the right message and talk to the right people, then it's not going to happen. So that's why I say that this workshop is worth, just over $10,000, because if you're making the minimum of this, which is the $100,000, then you should see at minimum a 10% increase. And ideally, if you start targeting that 50% and you start saying, look, here's where I need to put these things, here's the key performance indicators, the KPIs that will help me make that shift, and here's how I communicate the difference, then you will see the shift, because that is called implementation. That is called consistency in implementation. And consistency in implementation of branding and marketing is how you build a brand. So big companies know this. And by big companies, I'm talking like 10, $100 million companies, $10 million, $100 million companies. They get this, and they tend to take about 10% of their estimated revenue growth, and that's what they put towards their marketing budget. And out of that marketing budget, anywhere from 10 to 30% of that is the branding budget, because they understand that building the branding is super important so that people understand and get part of an emotional core and emotional resonance as they grow. Now, for $1 million company, that means that $100,000 is their general budget that they allocate to marketing. And out of that, $10,000 to $30,000 is their brand marketing or their branding budget when they're doing something, because that's what helps build all of that idea. So what we're going to be doing in this workshop is going to be doing the exploration of the tactics, the definition of a tighter, we call them avatars, or personas, the customer, the audience that you're really wanting to speak with, and the positioning, because the three of those together, where they overlap, is a sweet zone for you. And like I said, somewhere between $10,000 and however much your intended growth is, that's honestly what I see as an outcome of this. But you have to commit to what you are going to do. You have to commit to taking the messaging that we're going to do and the information we're going to grasp and implementing it in your business. And that's why this workshop is $1,000. And I feel that is definitely worth it because of everything you're going to learn as part of this. So I'm really looking forward to meeting with you guys and doing this stuff with you. The thing that really is going to make this exciting and dynamic is that it's not just you and me. I do, with my private clients, I do mini strategy sessions that are 4 hours long that are the same $1,000 price point, and I do extended strategy sessions that cover a lot more exercises that are up to 8 hours long, and that's generally about $2,500. But In those cases, it's just a small group of people. The thing that we're doing in this workshop that is super exciting is that we are getting a group of business owners together, and you guys are going to help each other because you know the business of business, right? So you guys are going to help each other by giving definitions and giving answers and helping each other grow um, by simply expanding the options in all of the 3 points that we've talked about. When you get more options of tactics, it's not just what you offer, but it's what other people are using and other people think are important too. That is amazing, that opportunity. And helping people define your target audience is great because they will think of them in ways that you can't. This whole workshop is designed to help you get more options and get outside of yourself, because we know that you can't read the bottle from inside, right? You can't read the label on the outside when you're stuck inside, and that's the way our brains work. What we know is what we know, and we don't know what we don't know. So this workshop is really a way for you to work with people in the area and grow that entire concept with just more options for what you're doing. All right, guys, so here's the deal. I really want more people to take advantage of this. So the cost is $400, and that is for the 2-hour workshop. And here's the thing: if $400 is hard for you, and you don't have the credit card space, and you don't have the ability to pay for this, I understand, and maybe it's not right for you at that point, right? If you can't say this is an investment for my business, and I can expect to see at least a $10,000 turnaround for this, maybe $400 investment isn't right for you, and that's okay. I get that. And maybe some other offering that I do a $200 brainstorming session where I work with you one-on-one. Maybe something like that is more effective for you than this workshop, to help kind of work through the challenges in your business and what you're struggling with more specifically. So, we're kind of knocking down from the value of $10,000. It's coming down to $400 here. And if that's something that really appeals to you, if that's something that sounds interesting, then please sign up. And I think you're definitely going to get the value out of that. I definitely think you're going to be able to use the brand positioning, the customer profiles, and the tactics that we come up with in your business in a really constructive way. And when you implement this stuff, you will absolutely see that turnaround. So, that's why I wanted to share it. Just coming in here one more time, adding into the video, is just we knocked down the price to make it more effective for more people to get into it. I know that the value is there. I know it's going to be incredible. And this is sort of a boon if you've been on the fence and you can't really justify that $1,000. This is a way to jump in at a really easy level. And if you want to work one-on-one with me and kind of do the same basic exercises, that is that $1,000 mini workshop, and we can absolutely schedule that if you're interested. But at this point, this 2 hours is going to be a crazy, awesome, fast-paced, exciting, creative endeavor. And if this is something you're ready to jump on, then go ahead and click buy below. So thanks.